coming up. The Frighteners, Peter Jackson's 1996 magnum opus about ghosts and stuff with Michael J. Fox. And it's a weird, well, it doesn't quite fit his other oeuvre. Let's just say that. But we're going to talk about it because it's 30 years old and it's a cult favorite, I guess. Next.
Welcome to the Magnificently Huge Podcast with your hosts, Eric Reed, Brian Kruger, and Chris Ryerson. Three idiots who decided to slap an adverb together with an adjective to bring you one magnificently huge discussion each week about the movies and pop culture we kinda like, maybe even secretly love, before we ultimately crab all over them. We're not here to save the world, we're just here to make it weirder, one podcast at a time. This is Magnificently Huge.
Oh, hello, listener, and welcome to another Magnificently Huge podcast. This is Chris, and this week, along with Eric and Brian, we're going to talk about The Frighteners, a little movie from 1996 that got buried. It's Peter Jackson's studio debut here in America after he had hit international acclaim with Heavenly Creatures, but a couple years before he did Lord of the Rings, surprisingly. So this thing kind of just falls into a weird chasm of his career. It's a cult favorite, I guess. But it's definitely not his biggest movie. It's not his best movie, but it does have distinction because it bridges everything going into Lord of the Rings and kind of lets him hammer out some things. And so it's worth discussing in that regard. It's kind of uneven, we'll just say that, and go from that springboard. But yeah, The Frighteners from 1996 with Michael J. Fox and an assorted cast of other characters. If you like what you hear and you want to have us do more in this vein, email us, magnificentlyhuge@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on our website, maghuge.com. And then we're also, of course, on most of the fun social media networks like Blue Sky and Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. So yeah, just let us know what you think. But for the most part, we're going to talk about the not quite train wreck, not quite amazing movie, just sort of as it were. The Frighteners by Peter Jackson. Next.
Boo. Yeah.
Hello.
Because it's Frighteners.
You scared me.
Ah.
No.
Boo. Boo.
Eek. Boo.
Queen of filth. Queen of heaven.
Anyway. Have you all seen this thing about this raccoon called Jimothy? Are you familiar with this?
Yes.
It's the weirdest, latest internet craze meme. Look it up, Eric. It's basically this
Gimpy raccoon.
Yeah, very like a hunchback raccoon, basically. He just doesn't look right. And he's in Seattle and he's become this crazy internet sensation. And so they've named him Jimothy, and Jimothy can save us all. I would just recommend looking it up. It's so dumb.
Jimothy. All right. Yeah. That sounds fun.
The important thing is that I can put Jimothy in the hashtags for this episode, so that's good.
Yeah. Bam. I know what I'm doing. Anyway, welcome to the show. Did we do introductions? I couldn't remember. I wasn't paying attention.
No.
All right. Good. This is Chris.
This is Brian.
This is Eric.
That was a hell of a delay. When we say introduction,
determined order. So I was waiting, and we were being polite.
Okay,
yes,
nice. That's a first.
That's our failing. That's why it doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, fuck you guys. I'm gonna talk all over you this time. Then
shut up.
Shit. Fuck you. Anyway, welcome to the program.
This is the Magnificent Podcast where we talk about things
and stuff.
Don't signal lane changes, or you'll cause an accident.
Yeah, and just for the record, in case you're a new listener, we are very unapologetically Gen X for some reason, because whatever.
Have we ever apologized for it?
No.
Does anybody in Gen X apologize for it? We seem pretty boastful about the whole thing.
I finally heard on some video on YouTube where some talking head was talking about it's those Gen Xers and they all want to just burn the place down and everything is anarchy. I'm like, oh, finally we have our own boomer cross to bear. Because it's always like, oh, the boomers, they ruined everything. And the Gen Xers are like, they didn't fix anything.
Yeah. But then neither did we.
Was broken, we got here.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, we got to have it all ruined
for us for our entire we've been having the world ruined by the boomers longer than the rest of you dickheads. Just get over it.
I do feel bad for the Z's. They've walked into a fucking train wreck. Well, I don't say I look forward to seeing how they'll fix it because I'll be dead, but hey, good luck to you.
Fix it.
Yeah.
They're fucked.
I mean, it's you know what though? I guess I mean the Chinese. I look forward to the Chinese making the best of the world because America's done. That's it.
Yeah. It was only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Was it not?
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. We got to be here for that.
I mean, sure.
I think so.
I guess. I don't know.
Again,
anyway,
since when were you planning on hanging around, Eric?
Yeah, really. Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again, and not to be like super gallows humor, but I'm not openly courting death, but if it ever came for me, I would not complain. You know what I mean? It's just, it's you have to start looking at the cost benefit ratio of existing. And so sometimes you just make that choice.
My parents are never going to die. I swear to God. Like, they may outlive me at this, and I'll die of natural causes, and these people, and they're going to outlive me. They just keep going.
Good for you, I suppose.
I still maintain you're not going to know when you're dead anyway. So in a sense, you're never going to die.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Who wants?
Oh man, that reminds me of a thing I saw that was like, there's a YouTube channel. Oh, okay. You know what? This will be part of our segment where we talk about things, and I hadn't even planned it, but our segment is called The Fresh Shit.
This shit is fresh.
Oh shit, that is fresh.
This stuff is really fresh.
Eric, I need to send you a link to this. There's a whole YouTube channel that tries to talk about what the experience of various ways of dying would be like.
Oh, shit.
It's like such an Eric channel. And the one I saw was like, what would it be like to be killed by a guillotine? And, the guillotine had been devised as this really, instantaneous and painless method. But the problem with the guillotine, you see, is that there's still oxygenated blood in the head after it is severed. And so the brain is still working, at least for like 5 to 30 seconds.
I mean,
and so there's reports.
It's kind of like when you take your laptop and you smash it on the ground. It's like you can still see stuff on the screen, but it's not working.
Oh yeah, but still, like, that's got to be a hell of a way to go out, right? Anyway, I'll have to send you a link to that, Eric, just because it seems like your jam.
Yeah,
but that is not what I came here to talk about at all. Do you guys know who Count Binface is?
Yes, that is fun.
I'm not familiar with Count Binface.
Count Binface he used to be called Lord Buckethead, but then he changed it up. But he's a joke candidate in the UK.
Oh, and that thing. Right. Okay.
Nigel Farage is running an election for his local seat or whatever to try and, shore up his power. And he is polling, even with, if not losing, to Count Binface, because all the other parties are like, no, we're not doing this. And so Binface is getting all of their support.
It couldn't have happened to a better person, honestly.
Well, the shaman who did the song Ebenezer Good have redone Ebenezer Good as Count Binface. And they've done the entire song, whole new lyrics, to promote Count Binface.
I mean,
I will put a link to that in the show notes. I won't put the drop here anymore because copyrights and junk, but yeah.
So that's basically the UK basically saying to the US, hold my beer, is essentially what's going on. Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
The nation that brought us Bodie McBoatface is going to find the solution.
Excellent.
I just like the idea of an entire nation saying to this prick, we hate you this much.
Yeah.
We will vote for a guy named Binface, whatever, just to not have you prick.
Might as well.
Yep. That's along the lines of wasn't there a monkey that won an election in Britain once? I don't know. Anyway.
Well, that's when What's-Her-Face was the prime minister and they basically had the countdown for the lettuce.
lettuce.
Yeah.
It's like this head of lettuce will outlast that prime ministership. Yeah. God bless the UK.
And
Yeah.
and then to finish up my fresh shit, speaking of heroes, I finished Spider Noir
Okay. I
on
still haven't
Amazon
started.
Prime.
Did it play out? Was it good?
I think the second half of it is stronger than the first half.
Okay. Well, that's
It
always
still
better,
suffers from
right?
the fact that Nick Cage is just too old to be doing this.
How dare you?
But they definitely let him go full Nick Cage.
Yeah. I'm going to play it like an actual spider.
Oh, they let him go full Nick Cage. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not
I mean, at this stage, you kind of, if you hire Nick Cage, you pretty much just assume he's going to be Nick Cage. You know what I mean? It's like, don't try to restrain him. Just hire the man. Let him do his bit.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing in black and white, and that is actually kind of a missed opportunity because while they did the gag where they did black and white and color, they don't really light it like a proper 1940s, 1950s black and white film with the really dramatic shadows and the way film noir was done.
Well, because they film it in color and they just do it in post.
But
I'm sure.
like they couldn't just go in After Effects and laid some fake shadows on things. I call shenanigans.
I mean, that seems like a lot of work, man.
The cinematographer was not didn't read the assignment, is what you're saying.
Yeah, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay.
So it there's a lot of it's fine. It's not amazing. I think it would have been better if it had stayed animated and you could have had Nick Cage do the voice.
So you're saying it's not an amazing Spider-Man? It's just an okay Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Spider Noir, right?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man. Yes, I will. I will support Spider-Man.
Okay.
But then
That's
I did
good.
just to round
Very
that
strong.
out. I did go see Spider-Man: Brand New Day.
Is it bloated? Is it too much? It seems like it's just regular Marvel fare at this stage.
No, actually, it's not.
How much homework do I have to do before I watch it? That's my concern.
You need to have seen the previous Spider-Man movie, but even there, they show enough like flashbacks to that I think you'd be okay. There's really no homework here.
Okay.
It's probably helpful to know that the Hulk and the Punisher exist.
Right. Which I do. I don't remember too much of that last one, to be honest. And so my concern is with all this Marvel stuff, like how much stuff do I have to
The only thing you have
I'm
to know about the last one is that it ends with them basically making everyone in every multiverse forget who Peter Parker is.
Right.
And so he's just absolutely isolated from everyone he cared about.
So basically they're turning him into an incel.
No.
Well, everybody finds out that Peter
him.
Parker is Spider-Man, and so they have to undo it by changing it everywhere.
I mean, people are aware of Spider-Man,
right?
But they have no idea who Peter Parker is.
Okay,
or that
as it
Peter
should
Parker
be.
is.
Does he get one of those like cool like transform his dorm room into a computer lair kind of thing, like the cartoon?
We still get to hear
like
Tom Holland say, "Oh, gee, I don't know. Gosh, is this still? Woo, hey, wah." Does he still do that?
Well, no. This is actually a fairly more mature version of all of it, and so Marvel has been playing their cards very close to their vest. Really, I would say for not a whole lot of reason. But they've been keeping most of this movie under wraps. And while we're recording this during the weekend where I would say spoilers would be gauche, it'll come out after that, but you guys haven't seen it. So, but basically everything that's been in all the marketing, all of those different characters, all those different villains and stuff is from like the first 10 minutes of the movie. We cover sort of Spider-Man has been, just kind of doing Spider-Man shit full time for 5 years.
Right.
And so he's more adult. He looks more adult. He acts more adult. There's actually emotional arcs and stuff and real acting in this movie, which is great. There's definitely some script problems, but things that people do earlier in the movie are sort of brushed off by the end of the movie, which doesn't really hold up. But
that's just Marvel.
Well,
I heard it's very
I don't
heavy
know.
product placement.
Like Coke and
like at some point he stops to have a Little Caesar's pizza. And that apparently it's so good he goes to get another Little Caesar's pizza.
No, they don't.
That's the only
They
thing
don't
I
do
know
that.
about
But
this
they do
movie.
stick a Little Caesar's box in the camera and in the foreground of a shot that has no acknowledgement of the pizza.
Well, I mean, that's like when GoldenEye came out and it was like all BMW and Perrier and all that nonsense. It's just
it's not that intrusive. It's really not.
Gotcha.
They pull quite a bit of stuff out of the PlayStation games that Sony put out over the last 5-6 years.
Well, that makes sense,
kind of
honestly, seeing as it's a Sony co-own, right?
Yeah, yeah. I would say it's a good one. It's definitely one of the better Marvel movies in a while because it's mostly focused on the characters and isn't about a whole bunch of Marvel shenanigans. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely Marvel world building going on, but it's not as annoying as it often is.
Is it better than
Oh, it's a lot better than the Fantastic Four movie.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I would give that Fantastic Four like a 5 out of 10. It just bored me to death.
It felt perfunctory. But
this one is directed by the guy who did Shang-Chi.
I don't remember Shang-Chi at all. If I have to,
I like Shang-Chi.
Yeah, it was one of the good ones.
It was light and breezy, I remember, but nothing about it stuck. It just felt like one of those, like, we're going to insert it in and then, yeah.
I think that's what I liked about it. It's like they had to change their palette, and at least it didn't look like every other Marvel movie to that point.
Yeah. We've come so far in 5 years.
I actually like
this also doesn't look like every Marvel movie. It's definitely, much more of a sort of like New York vibe to it.
Okay.
Like original Spider-Man.
I'd recommend it. At the very least, watch it on streaming. I don't think it's a rush out to the cinema situation. You will get spoiled real soon now. By the time anybody's listening to this podcast, all the spoilers will be out there, and you'll be like, really? Why were we hiding that? Big deal.
I mean, maybe I'll watch it, because I probably will never watch that Avengers Doomsday, whatever. That just, I don't care at all. Just not a lick. So maybe I'll keep Spider-Man in my back pocket.
I did watch Doctor Strange, a Multiverse of Madness this week.
So disappointing.
No, I watched it again and I'm like, I really like this. I think it's once you understand the level of oh God, why can't I remember his name?
Raimi.
Evil Dead guy.
Sam Raimi?
Yeah, the amount of Raimi going on, it's really good. But
it's funny, I hadn't brought it to the fresh shit, but I had rewatched the first Doctor Strange and then that one. I would say the first Doctor Strange is much better than Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
That one really holds up on a rewatch.
I mean, it's a standard narrative structure. That's why. So
yeah.
Well,
it's easier to digest.
Bug fucking sane is why, but
well, plus it's got Mads Mikkelsen, so it's like,
the first one is wild, dude. Rewatch that. You'd be surprised.
But if you look at those, like the early phases of Marvel, it's like that and Guardians of the Galaxy really just went for broke. It's like they just shattered because they did like the mystical, the sci-fi, all that stuff. So it kind of stands out much more than Thor. So, take that for
I like that in Multiverse of Madness, the thing I never caught, but now I really love is that we have like a main protagonist from the Avengers being the worst possible bad guy and really killing a lot of people. I mean, it's unusual and dark. And I think that helped.
I mean, maybe. It's still hard for me to,
who cares?
It's still hard for me to care at this stage.
Yeah.
I think,
No, I would definitely recommend a redo on the first one. And I'm definitely an apologist for Multiverse of Madness. I feel like if anything, they didn't go hard enough with Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, maybe that was it. I was totally waiting for like,
pulled.
yeah, I was totally waiting for like an Army of Darkness vibe, and it just never really materialized for me. So it was just sort of like,
I mean, they did reanimate a corpse of Doctor Strange at one point.
Well, I know, but if you go in knowing it's a Sam Raimi movie, that's not even shocking. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's because I've seen too much Raimi stuff that I just was nothing that was supposed to jar me really jarred me. So I was just sort of left.
It was no crime.
The problem with Multiverse of Madness is that the Scarlet Witch's motivation sucks. It's a script problem.
Yeah, agreed. Okay. Thank you for verbalizing that for us. Because yes,
it wasn't entirely her motivation. It was that book possessing her.
Oh, the book.
Yeah, that's true. The Darkhold thing. The other problem, and where I really feel like they pulled their punches, is they tease us with like the multiverses, like all these. There's this one shot where they like fall through several multiverses, and in some of them they're just like abstract colors and whatever, and then they full on don't go visit very many of.
Yeah,
it's like,
I think where it fell apart for me was it's like I saw that done better on Rick and Morty. And so it was just sort of like, okay. Because like in Rick and Morty, when they go into the world where it's basically, it's like the pizzas sitting on human chairs. Like, you know, it's just like all just backwards nonsense. And it worked. Like, it just felt like they were trying to emulate that sort of vibe to a degree.
We have been in a decade of multiverse literature and film. Right. Yeah. Because the leader of the United States is a reality star fascist, you know, so we're all sort of consumed with the idea that this is not the only reality.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like in competition with a lot of different people doing the same thing.
I hadn't thought of it that way, but you're so right.
But I mean, there's a reason where my weekly mantra is basically, this is the dumbest timeline imaginable.
It really is.
It's just like that's my cone to get me through the week. It's just like, this will pass. It has to. But damn, it's the
no. It can always be stupider, Chris. Have you not learned that yet?
Apparently not, because I'm a dummy.
The stupid is bottomless.
Yeah, that's true.
And what's, I guess, the funniest thing about this timeline, you really have to look to find anyone who's really winning, because even the people who are doing this shit to us, they're not happy. They're not doing well. Everybody hates each other.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not a success.
Yeah, by any means.
When the entire stock market is propped up by a bubble based on what is effectively corporate rape, like explicitly, like, you know, just try lying back and enjoying it while we fuck you with this AI thing, you know.
If you say anything about it, it's going to fall apart. So shut up, for Christ's sake. Every bubble bursts because somebody has to say something. So don't say nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Cory Doctorow is out there again. He's got a new book, and this guy just is killing it. And he's like, when their business model is, we're going to sell you $100 bills for $1. That's not a sustainable business model. And we know that it's really not a sustainable business model because recently they tried to up their costs a little, you know, their prices a little bit for all the companies that were using AI. And they said, how about if we sold you $100 bills for $5? And all the companies were like, no, those $100 bills aren't worth $5 to us.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
So that man has metaphors for days. Like, watch his interviews. He's amazing.
Yeah. I just feel like nowadays it's like the AI is pushing more towards Wintermute than it is Neuromancer. And it's just like, fuck, man, we're all just going to die. That's just where we are.
Oh, God.
Have you seen that there's a Neuromancer show? We're not going to be here for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm intrigued.
There's a Neuromancer show coming next year.
And I'm glad they did it as a series and not try to shove it all into a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my only thing is
the age where movies are replaced by shows, and it's good. Yeah, because you have room to move. You can breathe. I remember always thinking, even if you made that as 3 films, that one book, it would not be enough to get the sense of it. You know, you could at best cover all the plot territory.
Yeah. But I do wonder.
It feels like another John Carter of Mars moment, though, like where all of the things that Neuromancer, you know, brought to culture have been done in bits and pieces everywhere else, and it's going to seem derivative of its own derivatives.
Yeah, but I think it working in its favor, it's never had any sort of media adaptation, so that kind of seems to make it fresh, as it were.
But the thing is, as you watch it, you know, like as people who haven't read the book, who aren't familiar with it, watch it, they're going to go, "Oh, okay, that ripped off The Matrix, and that ripped off that other thing, and that."
You know, that's
that was
like
exactly
anything.
my son's reaction to the trailer. It's like, oh, so it's like The Matrix, and I'm like, actually,
actually, I do wonder though if they're going to do the scene, because the scene in the book that really always made my jaw drop was when Case realizes that Wintermute is a thing, and there's that scene on the street where all of the payphones start ringing simultaneously, and it's Wintermute fucking with them. I'm like, could they even do that now? Because it's like payphone. What?
That was always a bit of a momentary deal breaker with the book, going back and reading that, and payphones. It's like nobody could predict the cell phone, I guess. But okay.
Yeah.
But, no, my favorite is still
just turned into cell phones, right? Like, I mean, in fact, all of the cell phones go off whenever there's like one of those weather alerts, right?
Yeah, so that's true. Okay. you were saying, Eric?
No, my favorite is when they go to steal Wintermute and the whole building screamed. That one moment is so badass. I would love to see how they're going to shoot that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll see. I have high hopes for it. So maybe.
God, I think I read that book in 89. It's been a minute.
I read it every couple of years.
Yeah, same. I do that, and Snow Crash. I like to revisit because they're sort of flip sides of the same coin. It's sort of like the 1984 and Brave New World of the cyberpunk stuff. It's fun. So, you know.
So do you gents have fresh shit for this episode of the show?
I do.
Yeah. Hit us, Eric.
No, you go.
I made the mistake of watching the new Masters of the Universe movie. And I'm sad that I'm not 12 years old. Otherwise, I might have enjoyed it. But as a 50 something, I thought it was a giant piece of shit, waste of time. I didn't like the choices they made. When you said, Brian, when we talked about this a couple shows ago, where they have all these stupid names because basically he was secreted away to Earth. As a child, and that's his memory of it. And everybody's like, what is Fisto? That's not my name. I mean, it was fine at first, but when they started just hammering it every fucking time, I was like, enough, just stop leaning into it. We get it. I just didn't care.
Man, I thought it was obvious that the people who made that movie had a lot of fun making it, and I found it infectious. It is stupid. The original is stupid. Here's the thing that I wish I had said previously. I really feel like it's the same vibe as Flash Gordon was in 1980. It's just super dumb, and it knows it.
But but Flash Gordon has just that certain je ne sais quoi, because it leans into the camp hardcore.
Yeah, called You Were 10 when it came out.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Having not seen Masters of the Universe, it's like, I can say at least Flash Gordon owned its silliness. And He-Man, it sounds like we're going to sort of ironically wink at our own silliness. Like we can't take this seriously, so we need to write around it.
No, they basically last action hero it to a degree.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah. They sell out their own concept because they don't want to look stupid.
Yeah. But to me, it's sort of like they took all of the wrong.
Skeletor in an Office Space scene by the end. Like, it's stupid. It knows it's stupid.
Yeah. But the fact to me, it was sort of like they took all of the wrong lessons from the first Thor bit movies and then Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like that's kind of what they were aping, but they didn't do the fun side of it. They just, the production design of Eternia looks exactly like Valhalla or whatever Thor's home planet was. And like you've got Asgard, yeah. So you've got like the long bridges over nothing, and that sort of thing. And then they kind of do that vibe. So it was very Thor-like to a degree, but then it's like all of the craziness from the Guardians of the Galaxy where they try to interject all of the humor and such. And it was just like, I've seen all of this before. And then when I was watching it, I'm like, if this makes me long for the Dolph Lundgren version from Canon Films, there's definitely something wrong here. Because that was my vibe. Because I hate that movie too, but I would rather watch that than this new one again.
It does seem, and I read this somewhere, that this is a movie made for absolutely no one.
Exactly.
In that, like, the only people who have any nostalgia for Masters of the Universe are younger than us, first of all, right? Because by the time it was on TV for us, we were, just well into our detached Gen X teenage bullshit. And it was just pure cash grab. We're advertising toys with this really lousy cartoon.
Exactly.
Thing. So you've got those people who might be into it. And then who else has ever given a shit about He-Man ever? And the answer is nobody, despite several attempts to revive it, including the Kevin Smith written thing on Netflix a few years ago.
Which I tried, and that was just equally terrible.
I didn't bother with that, but
it's
always been dumb. I guess for me, I went in going, give me some big dumb fun. Like, to me, I went into this with the same attitude I went into Free Guy, right? Like, it's like, I know you're stupid. You know you're stupid. Just let's have fun with the movies for a couple hours.
Yeah. I did ask you when you brought it up, like, how does it compare to that Dungeons and Dragons movie with Chris Pine, Honor Among Thieves? And you
tell me I said Dungeons and Dragons was better.
Yeah, and I agree. Like that thing has hit Pluto TV, so I've caught it here and there, and I've rewatched it, and it's really good. And it's a travesty that thing didn't make more money and wasn't a bigger hit, because it's so fun.
Yeah.
And it's self-aware, but not cloyingly so. So it's just they knew the assignment and they fucking nailed it. This one, it's like
Dungeons and Dragons is sincere. Like, they literally go for the actual alignments of the characters.
Right.
And
we have had so many cynical cash grabs by now.
Yeah.
That if it just has something on it like Dungeons and Dragons, everyone rolls their eyes. You can't give it a chance.
But here's the thing.
We've done this so many times.
I guess.
James Gunn's Dungeons and Dragons would have had to have really beaten the shit out of the lawful good character, because how lame and boring is he?
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons doesn't do that. Dungeons and Dragons has a lawful good character, and they make him awesome.
Except that they also make fun of him, because at the end when he's like leaving the quest,
people make fun of him, sure, but that's okay.
But it's like there's that point where he's like walking off in the distance on the beach, and they're like, so he's just gonna keep walking, I guess, right? And he's like, yeah. Is he gonna go around that rock? Nope. He's gonna go right over that rock. I mean, it was just stuff like that which made me laugh. They understood the assignment and to like 100%, and so it worked. Whereas Masters Universe, it's like, I mean, I get it. It's self-aware, but it's just, they didn't do anything interesting with it, I guess, is my beef. So,
Well, it bombed horribly, and they're not going to make any more, so you're fine.
It's gangbusters on streaming. Like, they'll probably make another one. I guarantee it.
They won't spend as much money on it, I can tell you that.
And Jared Leto won't be back as Skeletor. Let's just put that. Was
Jared Leto really Skeletor?
Exactly.
He was unrecognizable.
He might not be back in anything. Someone's finally
Yeah.
pressing charges.
Yeah. Finally. Okay.
That's true.
Anyway. Tell us
he'll
if
be
you
in the
watch
next
this one.
Army Hammer movie that's directed by Uwe Boll, right?
Yeah.
I wish I was joking, but that's a real thing. Anyway, Eric.
Oh yeah. I've been keeping tabs on that. Oh God. It's like all the nut jobs now have their own movies.
Yeah. It's an industry.
So I went to the theater and I saw a movie.
Was it the
Wham! 10 Days in China.
Wham! Not the one I would have predicted.
The band Wham?
Yeah. The band Wham! Went to, it has an exclamation point, so you got to say it that way.
Yeah.
In 1985, they did shows in China and were the first Western pop band to perform in communist China.
Really?
And it's such a wild story, actually. They hadn't hit it big in the United States yet, and the manager wanted to. And he got this cynical idea, if we were the first pop band to perform in China, the United States would notice that and we could, break there. So that's the only reason they did it. And
it
he
works.
negotiated.
Tell me that at some point when they're discussing this tour, that somebody says, well, if we're going to do it, we got to do it right.
You mean those exact words?
He's quoting lyrics. He's quoting lyrics.
Oh. That's an I'm Your Man pull. Yeah.
This from the man who also did the Dilly Bar song to the tune of Wham.
Yeah, but we're not, nobody cares about that.
the Dilly Bar. The Dilly Bar.
That's right.
We were
you guys
working
worked at Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Dairy Queen, and we were bored. But anyway, so so they go to China. Only George Michael could go to China.
And so they set up, they do these shows. The manager's like, well, we got to make a documentary of it. And they hire Lindsay Anderson, to make a documentary of it. He made films like If and Oh Lucky Man and Hospital Britannia. He's like a serious filmmaker and I think an avowed socialist to go with them to China. And he's like, I hate Wham. I don't care about that. But I love the idea of doing this documentary about a Western pop band going into communist China and ruining them.
That's crazy. So that's a weird choice. Yeah, I agree. Because This Sporting Life, that's a drama with a capital D kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just oh man.
And this is early Wham, so they're in the closet, right?
Oh yeah.
George is. Yeah. I mean, Andrew is never gay, but yeah, George is.
Yeah.
And oh God, I don't know. I was saying words and things and stuff.
Yeah. They hired this filmmaker.
Lindsay Anderson. Yeah. He made a documentary in the 50s that the manager was like, oh, that's the kind of voice we want for this. I guess he just didn't keep in touch with the rest of his oof. But anyway, so they're filming all this documentary footage and they do the shows. Oh, the shows are great too, because the audience has no idea how to react to pop music live. Right. I mean, the only concerts they go to are classical music. And so George Michael, he has the opening song. He plays it at 50% faster. I mean, it's like bam, 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 bam. And when it starts, I was like, whoa, what just happened? Well, he's trying to amp the audience and he's trying to get them to clap their hands. And they're all like, clap our hands? They don't understand doing it to the time. It's like this very weird but fun thing. Watching these people in the audience slowly over the course of the set figure out that they can let their hair down, but they don't do it well because they have never done it before. And they finally start dancing, and they standing up and dancing. And one guy starts dancing on his seat and gets arrested by the military. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
It's amazing. And then they end up
to
saying,
death, and now Wham has a whole new meaning.
Yeah. They they do the shows. They do get the attention in the States. They do become a thing. The manager shelves the documentary, I think, because Lindsay Anderson again had a different take on this, and they just said, nah, fuck it. And so this stuff was in cans for 40 years, and they wanted to do a documentary about the show because the 40th anniversary was coming up. They find all this stuff. They shoot some new interviews with the people who, the crew and the journalists who were there, and Andrew Ridgeley. And it's really, even if you don't like Wham, and if you don't like Wham, there is something a little wrong with you, but because they're just joy. But even if you don't like Wham, it is an amazing time capsule of coming out to the rest of the world.
Been 82 or something?
No, 86.
85.
Was it that late?
1985.
Okay.
Yeah. I am just as a aside, I am reading in the Wikipedia page for this thing. Apparently, Anderson had a cut but it was rejected by the group because they thought it focused more on everyday life in communist China rather than on the duo themselves.
Right.
So that's why it didn't see the light of day.
Yeah, they didn't say. I don't think.
In
they
other
said
words,
in the
he
film
didn't do it right because he
it.
didn't do it with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just stop it. Just stop it.
Nope. Never gonna stop.
So yeah.
Nice.
All right. Well, with that, let's get on with the show, shall we? The Frighteners.
Yeah. So
1996. Peter Jackson.
Yeah, it's the 30th anniversary of The Frighteners, and I brought this one to the table just because, like many film folk, this one always seems like in this weird, like dark spot in Peter Jackson's career because it's sandwiched between his breakout international sensation, Heavenly Creatures, and then the global, just super colossal Lord of the Rings. So this is like in the middle of that. And it's just sort of one of those cult things. I haven't seen it.
The movie that every international filmmaker ends up making that says to American studios, I can play ball, I can bend over.
Yeah.
And like once they do it, then they're allowed to actually make their real passion project that is better than the studio glut.
Exactly. So following that through line, this is sort of like Peter Jackson's version of John Woo coming to America and doing that Van Damme movie before he could do like Face Off and all of that stuff. It's kind of that vibe.
Or Christopher Nolan doing the Al Pacino, Robin Williams.
Yes.
I can't remember the name of that one, but that was the one where he's like, sure, I can make a studio movie.
Yeah. So it's just here. It's this weird like nether region of Jackson's career. But it's also kind of a weird nexus because if you watched his movies up to that point, it definitely adheres to a lot of that vibe, but it pulls its punches because he started as like a splatter director, and just had these crazy movies up to Heavenly Creatures. It's kind of got that vibe, but he just pulls back just slightly, but it was still enough to make the studio kind of queasy. Like, this is a little dark. I'm like, did you all know who you were hiring? So, it's strange, but it also came out the same month as Independence Day and it got buried. It came out the same day as Trainspotting and got buried. So it just had a lot of headwinds against its actual success. But I think because of video, people have sort of been able to see it and follow it, even though it's not his best work. So it's like an oddity in his career to me, which is why I thought we'd be fun.
So Peter Jackson and Philippa Boyens wrote the thing. It was supposed to be directed by Robert Zemeckis.
It was Fran Walsh, not Philippa Boyens.
I was it? Okay. I guess I have that backwards.
Fran Walsh has been his writing partner forever, basically. So yeah.
Yeah, but somehow they decided actually Zemeckis shouldn't make this. He'll produce it, and this should be a Peter Jackson thing. And it sounds to me like this was sheer Peter Jackson force of will to get it, because he also turned it into this and it has to be made in New Zealand situation.
Yeah.
And this is, in fact, to the point of fighting with the studio over doing even more stuff in New Zealand when there was like reshoots or something. Yeah. This is how he ultimately builds the production company and Weta Digital up to make the Lord of the Rings possible.
Yes.
So
and that's the other. Yeah.
He took this opportunity and was so persuasive somehow that he really drove it home. And what's so bizarre to me about that is this isn't a really that good of a movie, and how the
it's
fuck?
It's kind of a wreck. It's kind of wreck. So to set the scene, go ahead, Eric.
I felt like the big problem with this, particularly in the opening, maybe hour, is how Zemeckis-y it felt. It's like it's playfully stupid. It looks like it's shot in the same town as The Goonies. It's just light and airy, and he's a con man who can see the dead. Oh, and then the tone rocks into full gear. And it's like, I wish that had been the whole movie.
Yeah.
I think at some point they just sort of they let Robert Zemeckis say or do whatever he wanted, and then they ignored him.
Yeah.
Because it does feel like him, but it feels like the same light, non-serious him.
Yeah.
Death Becomes Her is good, but it is also a very American film.
Yeah. And that's a good call out, because this one definitely has some of that, for lack of a better term, some of that DNA. Like when I'm watching Frighteners, I'm like, oh, that definitely has some Death Becomes Her elements to it. So you can see it. But to set the stage, basically it's the movie itself is about Michael J. Fox, who can see the dead because of a traumatic experience where his wife died. And he basically uses that to get ghosts to haunt people so he can come in and solve the problem. And then it's sort of...
Yeah, he's a con man.
He's a con man. But he has ghosts helping him out. And then at some point he gets tied in with a ghost that's part of an ongoing... is like a serial killer who was put to death, but is now like doing its own thing and like counting down the victims. And he basically has to stop the big bad Reaper by the final of the movie. That's kind of the nugget. There's more to it than that, but that's sort of just the through line. And it's just all over the map, It is.
I think even though he got rid of a lot of the violence, just the fact that it's about a serial killer getting numbers, I think that's why it's R-rated. Not even the actual violence, just the concept of serial killer from beyond the dead killing.
Yeah. I'm really not sure why it has an R rating, and I think Peter Jackson isn't sure either.
I mean, he was trying to do it as a PG-13, but yeah. They thought it was too intense, which is so dumb in retrospect, but whatever. But
so my experience with this movie, I've only seen it twice. Once this weekend and once before it was released. This is the first movie I saw in a test screening. I was living in Northern California at the time,
right,
and got the opportunity to see an unfinished film. The new film with Michael J. Fox from Robert Zemeckis. So it's like, and this is how they marketed it in the 90s as well, that it's like, hey, it's the Back to the Future people, right? So
exactly. Yeah. Cause before Peter Jackson was like a big
hype.
Yeah.
And then the unfinished effects were really unfinished. Like when I saw it the first time, every shot of the Reaper was basically, it wasn't even textured yet. It was literally flat gray garrote shaded polygons flapping around on the screen,
which isn't much different from what you see in the final product.
Well, but, and that's kind of the punchline is, and honestly, it didn't get a whole lot better. The effects are not great.
Well, they cut the production schedule by like 4 months because the studio was so chuffed about it.
It was going well.
Yeah. And so it's like, hey, great. We're gonna take 4 months off your schedule. What do you think about that? I'd be like, fuck you, dude. It's 4 months we could use.
That was part of he asked for more money to finish the movie thing, and they're like, okay, we'll give you more money and less time. And I'm like, do you not understand why we were asking for more money? Like, we weren't gonna make the deadline, guys.
Yeah.
What is this?
It's just goofy.
But I never bothered to watch the final version of it because I had such a negative reaction to the test screening, and it wasn't because it was unfinished, although I'm sure that didn't help, but
I think it's just
because the tone shift was so bad.
It's very abrupt. Like I was watching it and my wife was just like, is this supposed to be a comedy? Is this supposed to be a horror movie? I don't understand what's happening. I'm like, yeah, that's the problem.
The funny parts aren't funny and the scary parts aren't scary, and it doesn't gel.
Yeah. Well, for me, I saw it in the theater because of Peter Jackson, because I had already seen, the stuff leading up to that in his New Zealand phase. And I just was expecting it to be way over the top and just so ridiculous. And I honestly thought there would be more gore because that's what he was effectively known for. But when he did Heavenly Creatures, he started to tamp that down. I mean, he still kept the dark themes and such, but he he really didn't go for broke on what he had been.
The shock value wasn't as fun anymore.
Yeah, and because I'm talking like if you've ever seen Brain Dead, aka Dead Alive, which is his zombie movie, I mean, it is just fucking crazy from about 30 minutes in until the end. He just like, it's just splatter, gross, gore, cartoonish from the get-go. And it's fun. But this one, it's just like, that's what's missing. There's no fun here. Like, what the fuck is happening? So it left me flat because it's also
one thing the one thing I really liked though was that sort of afterlife world building they did.
Right.
And it would take a while for someone to really sort of jump on that.
Yeah.
But otherwise you're right. Yeah. It's cute to its own detriment. It's, and
I think
violent without violence.
Yeah. And I think some of that's probably because of the studio influence. Like they couldn't do the same balls out nuttiness that he was known for up to that point. So he had to go other routes.
Well, he's playing against type, right? Like, first of all, he's a con man, right?
Right.
So, you've kind of taken the boy next door, Marty McFly or whatever, and you're playing against that type. And so right away, you're tonally dissonant, which is fine. I think Michael J. Fox should be allowed to act in whatever roles he feels like is interesting to him as an actor.
I mean, he acquits himself, but he also
put
very
this
Marty
weird
McFly.
like shitty Ghostbusters spin on it at the beginning, where you've got like the ghost that he's using to do the haunting, and it's like this cartoonish Afro guy and John Aston, and
Shy McBride was just so wasted in this thing. I was so disappointed.
Yeah, it's.
They also, like you say, like
comes off like a bad Saturday Night Live sketch or like a YouTube video.
To me, I'm watching it again. I'm like, I totally forgot that they did all that because like the ghosts had this like glowing aura about them, etc. And I'm just like, it's Luke and the Force Ghost this Saturday on ABC. It was just like it just looked like very cartoonish. And then I was just like, they could have done that better. And the fact that they had to film each scene twice, like once with Michael J. Fox in the live action, and then they did all the blue screen stuff for the ghost folks and had to like composite it. So it was a very intricate production, but it just all that for this, it's just, it's so disappointing overall. I hate to say it.
But what I just don't get is how did that script, how did the movie I know how the test screening went. I went to one. Like, how did they be like, this is our big summer film, let's pull the schedule in by 3 months? What the fuck? How did that happen?
It's
to me,
crazy.
that's the most interesting thing about this movie. And I have to assume it's all about Peter Jackson being a really charismatic and persuasive dude. Like, I don't know what else to say.
I mean, can we talk about Jeffrey Combs for a minute though? Because he absolutely steals this movie. Like
Jeffrey Combs, who has played literally every race in Star Trek.
Yeah. I mean, he's chewing scenery, but my God, he does not get enough respect for his performances because he is so just greasy, gross, slimy, sweaty, uncomfortable in this thing. And it's just without him,
like he is in every Star Trek character he plays. Yeah.
And so if you didn't have him, I think this thing just would completely collapse under its own weight because the ghosts are just sort of ho-hum. The one ghost that's like the newly dead, who's the husband of the woman who ends up being the love interest. He's kind of just a goofball.
He's a cartoon.
Doofus. Yeah.
He made me think of several different characters from several different Sam Raimi films where it's like, they're not real. They're not interesting. They're too broad and they're not funny. Yeah.
He was very Biff Tanner. You know what I mean? It's just like, he's just there to be a dick and nothing else. And so it was just, but when Jeffrey Combs shows up, it's just like, this guy's just making me uncomfortable. Holy shit. And it's very Reanimator. It's just like his vibe. And I just, I just wish that Jeffrey Combs got more respect for his craft because he's just
I
always
mean,
good.
that man is doing just fine on the sci-fi convention circuit. I assure you,
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
got fans.
Yeah.
Wayoon
The
is a
man-
very memorable character. Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Oh yeah,
I was
no,
actually
yeah,
more interested in Trini Alvarado because I kept looking at her going, where the fuck do I know her from? And I was just combing IMDb, Times Square, the classic Times Square from 1980 with her and Leanne Unger forming a punk band in New York City while on the run from cops because I think they broke out of a mental asylum. I'm like, that's a great film. This is not.
Okay. Yeah, it's like I've seen her, but not. But yeah, it's just interesting.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to see that, see that.
Yeah, but the ghosts themselves, it's like, yeah, you've got John Aston, and they do like where his jawbone comes off because he's like a decomposing Civil War cowboy, whatever, kind of a vibe, and then it's like that's sort of the lead into where his ghosts apparently have a shelf life. Which I'm like, none of this makes any fucking sense. It's like, so you could die if you're a ghost, but it just takes a long time. I don't understand the logic behind it. It's just the world building is shoddy. For what's going on here. Let's just say that. So it's just kind of goofy. And then at the end, when it's like all of his ghost buddies just suddenly just end up getting ripped apart by this Reaper who can kill ghosts and take their essence or whatever. And then you find out that D. Wallace Stone, who's the woman trapped in the house, who's apparently terrified from this ghost, ends up being like it's a Mickey and Mallory situation, where they're actually like the serial killer couple,
right?
Where and that's like the denouement at the end. It's like, oh, that's the big reveal. She's really in on it, and then it's like 20 minutes of her just chasing the protagonist with a shotgun. I mean, it's just like. It's all
the
way
mom
too
from E.T.
or Cujo.
I don't think anybody remembers.
Yeah, that's
Cujo.
the one people are going to remember, Chris. Cujo was definitely more popular than E.T.
Hey man. Wasn't she also in the werewolf movie that Dante
one?
did? The Howling? Wasn't she in that too?
Oh fuck, I don't know.
Possibly. Yeah. I don't know.
Mean, yeah,
I just remember thinking, wow, E.T.'s mom is kind of hot.
Yeah.
She wasn't E.T.'s mom, was she? She was the other. Yeah. Okay. E.T.'s mom. I'm going to say E.T.'s mom. Yeah. E.T.'s mom was kind of hot.
Yeah. Because right before she made E.T., she did The Howling. And then after E.T., she made Cujo. So hence my connection. But I'll take your word for it. Yeah. If you want to go with E.T., yeah, go with E.T. That's cool. It's sort of playing against type if you go on that route. So she's, like wanting to kill. And then it's like Jake Busey shows up because for some reason he was getting work in the late 90s and just being like Gacy's got 11. We're going to have 12. Blah, blah, blah got 14. We got 15. You know, it's just like, oh, come on, dude. But I can see where Zemeckis would have cast him in Contact based on his performance in this, though. So there's your connection if you follow along at home. But it was just,
and this was also Arlie Ermy got a cameo as the ghost of Arlie Ermy, basically.
Yeah, who basically can mutate with at will and have like ghost machine guns.
But why not? Because the bad guy can at will make a Reaper. I mean, they don't really explain.
No, they don't.
It's a very Green Lantern kind of thing. If you imagine it, you have it.
Yeah. And that's just it. It's sort of like you could see shades of this in other like RIPD. I think probably whether consciously or not took a whole lot from this movie. You know what I mean? It's just like you could do a whole Frighteners sequel about just the ghosts doing their thing, and it would probably have been a little bit better than the actual.
You could make a sitcom where there's a bed and breakfast and only
that
the
was
wife
the other
can see
thing
to go. Oh,
yeah, that was the other thing that I had in the back of my mind watching this. Now I'm like, oh fuck, I totally forgot all of this from Frighteners. But yeah. But overall, it's just it's not as good as it could or should have been, and I don't think it's Peter Jackson's fault necessarily. I think it's just because of all of the studio machinations that probably went on
It's
before, during, and after production.
No, he wrote it and he directed, and it has no tone. Or has
but
bad
it
tone.
is. But it is a negotiation. It's his transitory work. It's like after this got him King Kong, which got him Lord of the Rings, and Lord of the Rings means he can now do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
It's like we could probably do a study
somehow
on the transitory films of, filmmaker, like before they were a big deal. Yeah. Like Martin Scorsese making a
Boxcar Bertha.
Not Cronenberg. Corman, making a Corman film. That's already weird. But
it's just, you could follow that. But part of this is I went back and rewatched some of those earlier Jackson films just to kind of give myself a primer. And if you watch Dead Alive, which is how we know it in the States, but other people know it as Brain Dead, but they had to change it because there's a Bill Pullman movie called Brain Dead from around the same time. But Dead Alive is a zombie flick, and this, if you look at Frighteners just from a narrative structure, it's the same fucking movie. It's just the monsters have been changed up slightly and some of the elements have been tweaked, but it's still pretty much the same framework. And I just thought, that's lazy. That's fucking lazy. So I just, at that point, I'm like, oh, Frighteners, you've just become an extra disappointment now. Damn it. So it's just funny, but it's got all
the crime wave of Peter Jackson films.
Yes, exactly. But you can also watch his stuff and you can see, it's like, if there's no Sam Raimi, if there's no George Miller, you don't have Peter Jackson. That's sort of the flow through. So it's sort of,
I see that.
But by the time you get to Frighteners, he's definitely ironed out some of the rough patches of his technique. So it's not as like slipshod, because even as like Dead Alive, it still looks kind of amateur hour to a degree, the way that it's just put together. This one has got a lot more professionalism and finesse to it, which would all wind up in Lord of the Rings, which to me is that is a bona fide just masterpiece of his career. Like all three of those.
It shows some intelligence on his part that he knew he needed refinement, because you look at Sam Raimi, and the problem with Crime Wave is he thought his lack of professionalism was his selling point. When it's like, no, that's what you need to clean up, sir. That's the problem with this movie.
Well, that's just it. And so just like Crime Wave led to Evil Dead 2, the Frighteners leads to Lord of the Rings. So
yeah, and I guess we'll be happy about that, because you're right. None of the Lord of the Rings happens if he hasn't tried and failed and learned something by making the Frighteners.
Yeah, and they definitely worked out the Weta effects, etc. But all his hallmark stuff is there. I mean, for whatever reason, Jackson just loves the sweeping camera with the crane and just does all this nonsense, and he does a lot of handheld stuff in between. So by the time you get to Lord of the Rings, it's all pretty much ironed out and it makes sense filmically. Whereas the Frighteners, there's still some odd bits here and there where I was just, that's an interesting choice for a cut, bro. I'm not sure what you're doing here.
I like the movement of his kinetic action when it's like, when the magic carpet creature is on the cab and Michael J. Fox comes jumping at it, and he cuts crossways across the car so that the action now splits from the car. Or when he's got the woman with the shotgun behind him and the guy with the gun in front of him, and he just falls down through the floor. It's like all these weird directions he goes in. I love that he doesn't just think laterally, and it's fun. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of a flow through from his other work, but it's just like Sam Raimi, like Three Stooges stuff and most of his movies somewhere. It's kind of that. You can kind of just see this is like what he's absorbed from the stuff that he's enjoyed. And it's sort of just repurposing it.
He has that too, that sort of outside of the box view of movement, because I mean, the big problem with movies always is when they think of it as just a postcard, when you just got a flat shot of this guy, then a flat shot of that guy, and you just go back and forth. With Crime Wave, even that part when the bad guy is pulling on the carpet and yanking her across the room, that's weird. And that's wonderful.
And Jackson really, he's not shy about doing experimental shit, which is what I like
thinking
about
around the problem. How has this not been shot before? I always appreciate that.
Yeah. So for me, it's sort of the Frighteners is definitely a disappointment, and could have been better, but it's also, it's nice to approach it from the idea of being a film lab for Jackson to go on to these wider, bigger spectacles that actually work. So I appreciate it for that, but it's a weird shift because Heavenly Creatures has all of that, finesse to it. It's a much more muted, controlled movie, and it works. But to go from that to back to the Frighteners, which is sort of like his freewheeling early days, it's very weird to me. So it's always going to have this odd place in his career between like international breakthrough, critical success to whatever happens next with Lord of the Rings, which just everybody knows and loves now. So it's got this weird footnote in his career. So that's where I kind of approach the Frighteners. But it's 30 years old. So, hey, we're still talking about it.
And I got nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, I wish it could have been better. It's even disappointing that Danny Elfman didn't knock it out of the park with the music. It's just blah.
I think it's funny actually that we remember it so well. And then it's another one of those movies you remember well, and then you watch it again, and you go, oh, I guess no.
Yeah. But again, it's like it came out like 2 weeks after Independence Day, and it's hard to express how much of a juggernaut that stupid movie was in 1996.
Yeah. And that one doesn't get remembered well at all.
No, because it's aged like milk, that fucking movie. So I think it just sort of gets dusted aside from that. So, you know.
And he, of course, had to make that in order to move on to his Giant of Cinema 2012, the greatest film ever made. So
yeah, but he had to make Godzilla first.
Yeah.
Emmerich.
Well, everybody had to make one of those.
Yeah. But ultimately,
Godzilla.
Yeah, but ultimately, I think Frighteners, I didn't see it. Well, maybe I did see it opening weekend, but I definitely saw Trainspotting like twice that weekend. So, you know, that's kind of where it hits on the cultural spectrum. Like Trainspotting had just this visceral impact for that time, whereas the Frighteners, it was sort of like, oh, okay, whatever. Oh,
yeah.
So, you know.
It was a disappointment to me before, and the rewatch did not redeem it. So,
yeah, it's definitely an oddity. What you should do next, Brian, is go back and watch Meet the Feebles from 1989.
There it is. I've been waiting for you to say that the whole show.
Yeah.
Like, I should have made a bet with Eric. Like, how many minutes before Chris says "Meet the Feebles"?
Because that is his most bonkers. I mean, he's done some batshit movies, but that is the craziest, like, nonsense I've ever seen in my life. Which is just an R-rated version of the Muppet Show. That's just.
I think that's on the poster. An elephant fucks a cat to death. Yeah,
yeah. So. If you watch that and then watch the Frighteners isn't really that bad, technically, but still, that's where we are. An elephant has to fuck a rodent in order for it to make an impact. But, you know, voila.
Mow, mow. No, the Deer Hunter sequence from Feebles.
Well, it's not only that, but if you look at like Dead Alive, there's a whole sequence where two zombies fuck each other, and then the female zombie has a zombie baby that ends up wreaking havoc in the movie. It's like none of this should make any sense, but it's goofy fun. And then heads explode and guts spill. Like none of that happened in the Frighteners. I think it would have probably done.
So the
better.
moral of the story is watch any other Peter Jackson movie besides the Frighteners.
Yes.
And
exactly.
you'll have a good time.
Maybe not the Lovely Bones, but yeah, anything else you'd be better served.
All right then. Well, friends, that's another episode of the Magnificent Huge podcast. We did it.
Yay.
Feel free to share it on your social media feeds with your friends and subscribe to the podcast and rate us on iTunes and all those good things. You can find us on the socials. We're MagHuge, MAGHUGE, or Magnificent Huge Podcast, depending on where you are. You can figure that out by going to our website, maghuge.com. And you can also email us, magnificentlyhuge@gmail.com. And we'll be back with even more of this next week.
Well, not this, but something like this.